Assalamu alaikum. Welcome all to Easy Human Anatomy channel. In this video, I describe one of the bones of the skull, the sphenoid bone. In this video, I describe the detailed descriptions of it. At first, the anatomical points. The superior surface of the body of the sphenoid lies centrally, and superior surface of the body lies horizontally. The two gator wings and two lesser wings are project laterally from the side of the body. The superior surface of the gator wings is deeply concave. The two pterygoid processes are directed downwards. The morphological type of the bone, pneumatic irregular bone. The development. This is the sella turcica, a depressed area present within the body of the sphenoid. These are the rostral half. This is the caudal half. So after the rostral half of the sella turcica is developed from neural crest, after the caudal half of the sella turcica is developed from paraxial mesoderm. So sphenoid bone is developed from two sources, the neural crest and paraxial mesoderm. The parts of the sphenoid bone. The body of the sphenoid bone, lesser wings, gator wings, and pterygoid process. This is medial pterygoid process. These are the lateral pterygoid process, and some foramens are present within the sphenoid bone. Body is cuboid shape and is contained two large ear sinus which are separated by a septa. It has six surfaces: superior surface, inferior surface, anterior surface, posterior surface, and two lateral surfaces. This is the superior surface of the body of the sphenoid. Anteriorly it is articulate with the cribriform plate of the ethmoid, and posteriorly it articulate with the basilar part of the occipital bone. From before backward, the superior surface has following structure: the ethmoidal spine, zugum phenoidale, sulcus chiasmaticus, tuberculum celli, sella turcica, dorsum celli. Ethmoidal spine is articulate with the cribriform plate of the ethmoid. Zugum phenoidale is smooth part. It's related with the orbital surface of the cerebrum. The name of the gyri is the gyri recti, and olfactory nerve is related here. The optic this sulcus is large optic chiasma. The tuberculum celli, there is a elevation present, bony elevation present within the tuberculum celli. This is the medial clinoid process. This depressed area is known as the sella turcica, and this is the tuberculum celli. There is a bony elevations. This is known as the posterior clinoid process, which are attached with the tentorium cerebelli. And this deepest part of the sella turcica is known as the hypophyseal fossa, which lies pituitary gland. The anterior surface of the body of the sphenoid is three structures present: sphenoidal crest, sphenoidal concha, and sphenoidal ear sinus. The anterior vertical part of the sphenoidal concha is present here. The ethmoidal crest is articulate with the perpendicular plate of the ethmoid and is from the septum of the nose. The inferior surface of the body of the sphenoid, sphenoidal rostrum, sphenoidal concha, and vaginal process. The ethmoidal rostrum is articulate with the superior surface of the vomer, superior border of the vomer, and sphenoidal crest is articulate with the perpendicular plate of the ethmoid. These are the continuous structure. The sphenoidal crest is continuous as the sphenoidal rostrum. It is present in the anterior surface of the body, and it is present in the inferior surface of the body of the sphenoid. The posterior surface of the body of the sphenoid is articulate with the basilar part of the occipital bone by a hyaline cartilage from the primary cartilaginous joint, which ossify at the age of 25 years, and after the 25 years this joint is not available. So the sphenoid bone, body of the sphenoid bone and basilar part of the occipital bone is the continuous structure. The lateral surface of the body of the sphenoids contain a group, the carotid sulcus, which laws cavernous sinus and internal carotid artery with sympathetic plexus of nerve. These are the carotid sulcus, which laws the cavernous sinus, this bluish area, this is the cavernous sinus. The center of the cavernous sinus lodge the internal carotid artery and abducens nerve. The lateral wall of the cavernous sinus contain related with following nerves: oculomotor, trochlear, ophthalmic and maxillary nerve. These are the gator wings of the sphenoid. This is deeply concave and it has three surfaces: cerebral surface, this is the lateral surface from lateral view, from inferior view these are the lateral surface, and from frontal from anteriorly these are the lateral surface, and this is the orbital surface or inferior surface of the gator wings. This is the inferior surface or orbital surface is from the posterior part of the lateral wall of the orbit. So these are the lateral surface of the gator wings and is divided into two parts by the infratemporal case. The upper part is known as the temporal surface, lower part is known as the infratemporal surface. So upper part is attached with the temporalis muscle and lower part is attached with the upper head of the lateral pterygoid muscle. So this is the temporalis muscle and this is the two muscle, the lateral pterygoid and medial pterygoid. The gator wings of the sphenoid has two surface, the posterior border, two border, posterior border and this is the squamosal border. Squamosal border is articulate with the squamous part of the temporal bone and posterior border is articulate with the petrous part of the temporal bone. Lesser wings of the sphenoid. This is the lesser wings of the sphenoid, triangular in shape, and they connect the body by the two roots. And it has two surface, cerebral surface, inferior surface, anterior border and posterior border. So this is the cerebral surface of the lesser wings of the sphenoid, and this is the inferior surface of the lesser wings of the sphenoid. By two roots is connect with the body of the sphenoid. Two roots is cover the optic canal, and in between lesser wing and gator wing there is a big gap is present. This is known as the superior orbital fissure, and the lower part, this is the inferior orbital fissure. The anterior border of the lesser wing is articulate with the orbital plate of the frontal bone, and posterior border of the lesser wings form the boundary of the superior orbital fissure. The foramen present within the sphenoid bone. This is the optic canal. This is the superior orbital fissure. This is the medial end of the superior orbital fissure, and just posteriorly this is the foramen rotundum. This is oval shaped foramen ovale, and behind the foramen ovale the tiny foramen, this is the foramen spinosum, and this is the location of foramen lacerum. This is the location of foramen lacerum. So superior orbital fissure is transmit following structure. The ophthalmic branches of the ophthalmic are nerve, the lacrimal nerve, frontal nerve, both are the branches of ophthalmic nerve. Then trochlear nerve, these are the motor nerve. Then the oculomotor nerve, this is also the motor nerve. And again, the one of the branches of the ophthalmic nerve, nasociliary nerve. So lacrimal, frontal and nasociliary nerve are the branch of ophthalmic nerve. They are sensory nerve. Then the inferior divisions of the oculomotor nerve. This is the superior division of the oculomotor nerve. Then the apicen nerve. These are the motor nerve. Then the inferior ophthalmic vein. So this structure is transmitted through the superior orbital fissure. This is the optic canal. It's transmit optic nerve and ophthalmic artery. Optic nerve is sensory nerve. So this is the trigeminal nerve. This is the trigeminal ganglion. From the trigeminal ganglion, three nerves arises: ophthalmic nerve, maxillary nerve, and the mandibular nerve. Ophthalmic nerve or sensory nerve, it has three branches: nasociliary, frontal, lacrimal. All three are passes through the superior orbital fissure. The maxillary nerve is a sensory nerve of the trigeminal nerve. It passes through the foramen rotundum. And mandibular nerve is the mixed nerve. So it passes through the foramen ovale. This is the foramen spinosum. It transmits middle meningeal artery. And now the medial and lateral pterygoid process. This is the medial pterygoid process, and this is lateral pterygoid process. So some structure present here. This is the pterygoid canal, and in the medial pterygoid process there is a bony structure present near the end. This is known as the pterygoid humulus. This is the vaginal process, which arises from the medial pterygoid process. And within the lateral pterygoid process, there is some depressed area present. This is the pterygoid fossa, and above the pterygoid fossa there is a tiny depressed area. This is known as the scaphoid fossa. And two pterygoid process, medial and lateral pterygoid process, is separated by a fissure. This is known as the pterygoid fissure. The pterygoid fissure, this is the pterygoid fissure. This separate the medial and lateral pterygoid process, and it's articulate with the, this fissure is articulate with the pyramidal process of the palatine bone. This is the pyramidal process of the palatine bone. This is the vaginal process. This is the pterygoid fossa. Pterygoid fossa is contain two muscle, the medial pterygoid and tensor veli palatini. The scaphoid fossa is small oval depression over the pterygoid fossa and origin of the tensor veli palatini muscle. These are the pterygoid canal. Lies at the root of the pterygoid process, is open into the pterygopalatine fossa, transmit pterygoid vessels and nerve. The pterygoid nerve is formed by the greater petrosal nerve and deep petrosal nerve. The lateral pterygoid plate, the lateral surface of the lateral pterygoid plate is give origin the inferior head of the lateral pterygoid muscle, and the medial head of the lateral pterygoid process gave origin to the greater part of the medial pterygoid muscle. So the both side of the lateral pterygoid plate is attached with the muscle. The lateral surface is attached with the lateral pterygoid muscle, and medial side is attached with the medial pterygoid muscle. On the pterygoid humulus is the hook-like process at the lower end of the medial pterygoid process, and is attached with the pterygomandibular ligament and superior constrictor muscle. The lateral surface from the medial wall of the pterygoid fossa and tensoropelviparentary lies against it. Medial surface of the medial pterygoid process from lateral boundary of the posterior nasal apparatus. The vaginal process. These are the vaginal processes at the upper part of the medial pterygoid process. It's articulate anteriorly with the sphenoidal process. It's articulate anteriorly with the sphenoidal process of the palatine bone and medially with the ala of the vomer. So this is the sphenoidal process of palatine bone. This is the ala of the vomer. This is the vaginal process. Posterior border of the medial pterygoid process. Whole length is attached with the pharyngobasilar fascia and lower part origin of the superior constrictor muscles. The anterior border of the medial pterygoid process is articulate with the posterior border of the perpendicular plate of the palatine bone and lower part of the anterior border from the medial margin of the pterygoid fissure, which articulate with the pyramidal process of the palatine bone. The articulation of the sphenoid with other bones of the skull. This part is articulate with ethmoid. This is frontal bone, here parietal bone, here the petrous and squamous part of the temporal bone, and this is palatine bone, this is occipital bone. Here it is articulate with the cubiform plate of the ethmoid, then frontal bone, then parietal bone, then squamous part of the temporal bone, petrous part of the temporal bone, occipital bone. And this part, the sphenoidal crest, is articulate with the ethmoid. Sphenoidal rostrum is articulate with vomer. And other pterygoid processes is articulate with the palatine bone also. So this is all about sphenoid bone. If you like this video, please press the like button and please subscribe my channel. Thank you.